and all practitioners. In the Master Quisen's teaching, he reminds us to practice, always to direct our mind to our self-nature, not differentiation. The patriarchs mentioned the place, the state where we not come up with any thought, no thought arise. No emotional, no emotions, no differentiation thoughts. That's the state that we need to get to. No false thoughts. There's another sense in Quy Sơn Cận Sắc. If we stay with the consciousness, there will be always a lot of thoughts, a lot of false thoughts. And we stay in the 6 destinies, the 6 realms, and we stay in the 3 realms. So just like cloud in the forest, so we will not be able to find our way out. So for the practice, we need to believe in our own mind. Then we'll be able to go back to our true self. We will be able to let go of ignorance, get out of our ignorance. Even though we have habits while we are practicing, just like when we get addicted to something, they always stimulate, stimulate our mind, our thought. Now we encounter the proper Dharma. We should maintain and practice, and we need to rely on the Buddhas and patriarchs, and then good advisors and our Dharma friends. So then we can strengthen our mind, so that we can go back to our true mind, and will not let the ignorance to distract us. And so even though we have bad habits, but if we have the mind of determination, strong determination, then we'll be able to maintain the practice. So if we have this, we'll be able to overcome all obstacles. We'll be able to conquer the ignorance, the self-attachment. Then we'll be able to go back to our true home, true self. So the doubt will be able to eradicate everything, all the attachments. The doubt will erase the differentiation thoughts in our mind. So the doubt has no flavor, no taste. It's not a state for us to dwell on. The patriarchs mentioned it has no handle for us to grab. So if we have doubt in our mind, then we don't have a thought of differentiation, not a thought of assuming. So the patriarch said, don't go after the the saying, the text, then we'll be able to understand a little bit of the patriarch's intention. So we need to be careful. Even though we know that we have big ego, we have bad habits. Our self-attachment is like a great mountain, big mountain, high mountain. But if we can keep the doubt, we'll be able to eradicate all this. So Hoàng Bá master, the Zen master, he mentioned that we need to establish with our commitment that we have made. The patriarchs also mentioned when we have emotion, then wisdom will come out. So another analogy he just mentioned about birth and death. We don't know where we're coming from, and we don't know where we'll end up. So if we keep the doubt, finally, eventually, we'll get out of the dream, we'll be awakened. So we keep the doubt, maintain the doubt to the point, then we'll get to the state of enlightenment. So the Chan tradition, they mention about from doubt to enlightenment. So like Nguyệt Master and all patriarchs, they say that this is the Dharma door, is called the so because of ordinary beings, because of other beings, that's why the enlightened ones provide the dharmas for us to practice. Yesterday, Jingok has a question. Now she can continue. But Hoàng Cảnh. Yesterday he has a question. Now he can. Dear Master, dear all masters and all practitioners, I have listened to Master Whaley. The practitioner has to be honest. So through my practice, it's not different from believing deep in the cause and effect. When we go to the monastery, we have rules and regulations, and we follow, which is good. And we feel that we have progress on the practice. Because we have the masters, we have the Dharma friends. But if we keep this, and you bring the rules and regulation, and we apply these rules and regulation at home, he said it's a little bit harder at home. Just like example, when we open the Zoom, do we really practice? Sometimes we just turn on the Zoom and we just let it be there. And we feel like, oh, the master and everyone think that I'm still practicing. And sometimes we don't really have the practice going. So that's not honesty. it's like we uh, misleading everyone. We lie. We're not honest about. So this is really the cost, the mistake that we make, and a bad cause for us. So anything that we come up in our mind, the patriarchs, the Buddha, the enlightened ones, they know. And long-term Hộ which is the heavenly beings, they know this. Then they, so actually, if we are not honest, we're still misleading us ourselves. So he's saying we take the rules and regulations for the monastery and try to apply it at home, and we try to practice. And if we believe in the cause and effect, deeply in cause and effect, then we practice just like we are at the monastery. And that is the good cause. So when we think, when we turn on the Zoom and we think, when we do a lot of things without anybody knowing, then that's, he tried to say that it's not honesty. So for myself, so I feel like there are many times that I was like that. So that's why I try to repent, because I recognize this problem that I've been having. So sometimes during the day I feel so tired, and I turn on the Zoom and didn't really practice. So I feel that I violate this. So when I recognize this, I try to repent and try to correct it. So I feel like my practice is getting better. So I just try to share this. So this is a very good point that you have shared. A lot of people, a lot of us, uh, we go after the fame and appearance, and we have a lot of differentiation thought in our mind. So the patriarchs mentioned, they mentioned, we have to be honest to ourselves. The mind has to be sincere. The conduct has to be true, has to be. So the patient also mentioned about the newborn baby, the young ones. They have this kind of mind. So a lot of us, because of fame and reputation, we just show up with our appearance, and we go after the fame and appearance. So just like Diamond Sutra has mentioned, the Buddha stated that if we go after the appearance and sound, then that is the deviant practice. We never see the Tathagata. So sometimes we just show up with appearance to really cover up our self-attachment and our ignorance. So our conscience is very alert. This is the habit that we have for so long in the past. So the Master likewise has mentioned, keep the practice going. If the doubt has not arrived, when our practice, just like a recitation, we just still try to ask a question. Try to ask a question. So if we have the practice, we keep the practice going slowly, we'll eradicate the self-attachment. And eventually, all these thoughts, differentiation thought in our mind, fake appearance, that we fake with our appearance, eventually it will be eradicated. So another master has mentioned, for 30 years of the practice, try not to give rise to any thought besides the time while we're eating, or put on our clothes. So we practice all the time, diligently. So when we bring forth the mind to practice, we go all the way, keep the practice going all the way to the end, to the final state, to the enlightenment state. We don't give up in the middle. We don't give it on halfway. So we should not rely on appearance, on the person. We rely on the Dharma. So all these thoughts, all the conducts that we act upon, that we've been doing, we've been performing, we all know. So like the person, like a business person, when they, because of greed, and they try to mislead other people, they know, because their mind, they know. So like a person who try to, who has been killing a lot of animals, like a person who sell the porridge with chicken porridge, chicken porridge, and then when she got old, she has fear, because she knew in her mind, she knew that she been doing not good things. She's been creating this kind of bad things. So all the bad things that we created, when we get old, then all this will come up in our mind, and then we will have fear in our mind. And then near death, we will be very afraid. So usually all the bad cause, all the evil thoughts, all the bad conduct that we have created, this karma will come out when we about near death. If in our daily life we know how to practice from when we're still young, if we don't believe, if we believe in our own mind, we don't let the duality come into control us. If we believe in our own mind, we really eradicate our self-attachment. And then it will lead us to no attaining, no seeking. And then we'll have no fear. So if we don't believe in our own mind, we believe outside of our mind, things outside, then all these things will control us. We are very fortunate that we encounter this proper Dharma so that we can practice to so that we don't let the habits control us. So if we encounter this proper Dharma, we have this proper cause. Don't let it slip away from us. So he just mentioned about the chapter when the Buddha mentioned about the prediction. Even though Devada tried to harm the Buddha, but the Buddha still tried to have the prediction for him. He'll become the Buddha in the future life. So all these encounters, all these causes, so he tried to say that we have to be honest, we have to be sincere with ourselves in the practice, in everything we do. So it's very special that Hoàng Cảnh has remind us so we need to be sincere, not to fake with our appearance during the practice. And sometimes we just let our loved ones that we are practicing, but we actually not. So if we be true with our mind, then we just have to be sincere with ourselves in the practice. So if we can recognize these habits, this thing, then keep the practice going, and eventually we'll be able to let go of self-attachment and ignorance. So thank you. We invite Kim Hoang to speak. Dear Master, all Master, and the rest of the assembly. So I just heard about the so I feel like his sharing, and you have mentioned if, about the practice from coarse to subtle. For our lay people, for us as lay people, like myself, when we interact with other conditions, it's not, it has to do with our mind. So we know what is really in our mind. What so like when we in the monastery, because of the assembly, then it reminds us so that we can reflect ourselves. So because of a habit is to prolong our practice, I feel like it's not easy. So I would like to ask about the practice. So before, when you taught me, I feel like when you taught me directly, every time after your explanation, I feel like every time I close to the young ones, when I try to teach the young one, I feel like I've been a long practitioner, and I've been participate in a lot of Dharma discussions, and I have listened to the teaching from Master Wei Li, and so when after your explanation, I apply this explanation to teach the kids, and every time my practice, it seems like it's been changing. So she feel like everything, it seems like it's new every time she uh, has learned from the master's explanation. And I also feel after your explanation, I feel like I established in a different view, different way to teach the kids. So can you correct me so I can see more clear about my practice. All the sharings, or like we borrow the teaching from the patriarchs, we just to remind all practitioners to strengthen our belief in our mind. We want our practitioners to give rise to the doubt, asking the question to give rise to doubt. This is to leave behind the duality, leave behind the wrong and right, subjective and objective. So the practice is not really to counteract the differentiation thoughts. So with the doubt, we don't really counteract anything. So because of our habits, our ignorance, they will control us, will mislead us. So the Buddha have taught us the four reliances, the teaching of the four reliances, so that we don't differentiate with the appearance. We don't go after with the fame, the reputation. We need to be sincere with ourselves. So all this is just the explanation. All this is just the saying. So we need to go back to our practice to leave the subjective and objective, to let go of the self attachment. So when we practice, we can see, and then we'll be able to look at all beings equally. Like example, when we wash our hands, we wish everyone to let go of all attachments. So when we eat, we still have the verse. Or like when we wash our feet, like we wish everybody, everyone, all beings to attend, to have no obstacles, to be free, to be able to go anywhere they want. So everything we do is to, our goal is our mind have a direction to go to the enlightenment state. And this is not just for ourselves, but for all beings. So when we leave home, when we just enter the monastery, after we leave home, and we practice all these verses every day. But now a lot of people, they go after fame and reputation and profits, and they don't really pay attention to the liberation, to be free, to and that. So like nowadays, left home people and lay people, it's not much difference. It's only the difference is only the clothes, the robe, the appearance. So all these verses that the Buddha came up, or the preachers came up, is for practitioners to really let go of the attachments. So we make vow to practice, and we vow that all living beings to let go of all attachment. But but we're more likely to, because of our habits, we still have these all kinds of attachments. It's about so we as a Buddha disciple, we need to practice and try to act the same as the Buddha. So Buddha has no differentiate thought in his mind. So on the practice, if we have the practice, when we talking about simple or not simple, it's all about we see things in a different way, in like as a total, not just so the Buddha mentioned in the Diamond Sutra, there's a saying say, if we let go everything, we will have everything. If we attach to everything, we lose everything. So this is also considered to be belief in our own mind. So like outside of space, there's no space. So there's, if the belief outside the mind, there's Dharma, then that is deviant Dharma. So if we just go back to our practice, then if we keep the practice going, then we don't differentiate status between people, and then everything will be clear. So because of our practice, we will begin with very in a coarse to subtle, and slowly we'll be able to recognize things. So our practice, like we all have the one thought of ignorance. So if we slowly walk on this path, eventually we'll let go of the one thought of ignorance to get to the no thought of ignorance. That is the state of Huato, the Huato state. So it's like the practice is like taking medicine to treat our sickness. So if we attach existent, that is sickness. If we attach to non-existent, that is still sickness. So our practice with the belief in our own mind, and we will keep the practice going diligently, consistently, constantly, and then eventually we give rise to doubt. Small doubt lead to great doubt, and then great doubt will lead to great enlightenment. So the intention of the Buddha and the preachers is to keep us, to remind us to always keep the practice going. So do you understand? As he said, yes, I do. Thank you. Time is up. Namo Sakamuni Buddha.